Hi there, I'm Lady Jen du Plessis, and welcome back to Business on the Vine. We are so delighted to have you here with us today, and we are in this beautiful 50 acres of wine and vineyards, right? They aren't wine yet. It'll be wine soon.
That's correct.
It'll be wine soon of Horton Vineyards, and we are so delighted to have Sharon Horton with us. Thank you so much for joining me and allowing for us to be here.
Well, you're welcome.
Thank you. It's so exciting. We first pulled up today. I was so excited. I was like, oh, I know her because I saw you at Bluemont Vineyard. I saw you there. And I was so excited because you are such a staple and an anchor in the wine industry, not only in Virginia, specifically in Virginia, but really in the world now too. You've really done a lot of wonderful things. So tell us a little bit about your feelings about this vineyard.
About growing grapes?
About growing grapes.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, actually, this was a dream of my husband's that I fell in line with, and I'm doing the farming part, which is very much my thing. I don't like, too much else about it.
Right, right.
So we started the Viognier grapes here in Virginia. They had not been introduced here before. And at one time, we had the largest planting in the United States. Then California caught up and has really outdone us, of course. But a lot of people in Virginia have planted the Viognier grape. And I do feel that the Viognier grape is a good grape for the state of Virginia.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah,
it grows well, it produces well, and it ripens well. It kind of can go along with the humidity and the nasty weather we can get in Virginia and the hurricanes that come through.
Yeah.
So it'll hold its own.
Yeah, I love
really
it.
Enjoy it.
Yeah, I love it. And I love Viognier. And it's so funny when we go other places, people don't even know what it is. It's so, I wouldn't say it's indigenous to us, but it's just becoming that, right? It's been here for so long. So what is your favorite wine?
My favorite wine probably is the Norton.
The Norton. I do too.
Yes.
I love that. And I love your Horton Norton.
Yes.
Horton
Everybody
Norton.
kind of went with that because
Oh,
it
my
rhymes with our
goodness.
last name. I think.
Of course, and God gave you that beautiful gift, that I'm always saying, why don't I have a last name that has some kind of marketing attempt to it, right? But I love that you love the Norton. So what kind of varietals do you create with your wine with the Norton? Are you doing 100% Norton? Are you doing some blends with Norton? What are you playing around with? Or are you staying traditional?
We're staying with 100% right now,
Yeah.
but when we first started out with the Norton, we were blending it with the Cabernet Franc and the Cabernet Sauvignon.
Okay.
Which is both works well. Kind
Yeah.
of smooths it out a little bit. Norton has a different kind of taste.
Oh yeah.
Everybody doesn't really care for it.
Right. Well, and it definitely doesn't taste good right on the vine. The grape itself is very bitter, right? I've tried it and I said, I love Norton. And so I love the wine so much that I'm going to go ahead and taste the grape. And I went, oh no, I don't like the grape. Yeah.
It's a very small little grape.
Oh, it's tiny.
So you get a lot of the tannins out of the skins if you're going to eat it off the vines, I think.
Oh, yeah. I learned my lesson there. It's like, and I was raised in Colorado and we had this thing called a choke cherry. Right?
Oh, yes.
Made the best jam, the best syrup, but you don't want to eeat choke cherries.
I don't think so.
Right?
No.
Same thing. I love that. Have you, I want to stick, well, not even to the Norton, but just, you have 50 acres that you're growing here. And lots of different grapes that you have here. What are you doing as far as reserves? And can you explain to people what a reserve Norton is compared to a regular Norton or a reserve Viognier? Well, that doesn't normally go reserve, but what is a reserve?
Reserve to us is that it has to be very, very special when we taste it in the barrels in the wine cellar, and it's only a few chosen. And not even every year.
Right.
It just seems like how it turns out.
Mm-hmm.
And then that will warrant a reserve for us.
Yeah.
So
okay.
It is
in
very small amounts.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what makes the price go up because it's so much valuable. And I know that happens with everybody. It's not just that you're going reserves. And they do tend to taste just a little different. And it might be the humidity, the lack of humidity, the rain, the lack of rain. There's a whole lot of things that come out of that. Do you ever know that something's going to be a reserve when you're harvesting?
Not so much. but it depends upon how it's treated in the wine cellar too.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, that has a
Right.
lot to do with it. But there has been a few years that I've called the winemaker, which is my granddaughter now, and said, you better be very careful with this Melback. Be very special with this here
Yeah.
lot of Viognier that's coming in, because it's really going to make something nice.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
tell
Yeah.
with the grapes on
Well,
the vine.
and she's one of the few women winemakers in Virginia.
I think we have more now
It's
than we
getting
used
there,
to. Yes.
but not
Yes.
as many as the men. So we're
No.
still working our way.
But I think the future is that you see a lot more women
Yeah, I
in
think
the
so too.
industry,
I
not
think so.
just winemakers, but I'm glad to see them more in the vineyard too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I think
that-
they can take care of things a lot more special
yeah.
than men do.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, I mean,
they're
I
a little
think
more careful in their
yes,
thinking.
right. And their
thinking
taste
is a
buds
little
are
bit
different too.
Yes.
You know, they're just much more
Mhm.
sensitive to it. So let's talk about the business of a vineyard, right? A lot of people will say it's kind of like don't buy a boat because you'll always be paying for the boat, right? So maybe the same thing is true with the vineyard. Do you encourage people to start this as a business? Do you say, hey, you know, what kind of resilience do you need to have?
You have to have a lot of resilience and
Right.
and forget about thinking it's a hobby and
Right.
something, you know, fancy, and you see it on TV and, oh, I could do this and blah 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 and
Yeah.
stay at home. This is not the thing. You know,
Yeah.
you have to be out here, I think, every day watching what's going on, because so many things change
Yeah.
all the time. You know,
Yeah.
you have different insects, you have different weather problems, you have different a lot of things in
Yeah. It's a lot
agriculture.
of work.
Yes,
It's a lot of work.
it is.
I've seen some people do hobbies and they have like 2 rows of vines,
Well,
right?
that's about a
And that's
hobby.
about,
Yes.
yeah, that's
Yes.
about a hobby. And they have it in their front yard. But I know that's how yours started. Tell us about
It
that.
did start in the front yard. Yes. I think that was my husband's dream, you know. So then he played around with different varieties that he thought would be, you know, grow well in
Mhm.
Virginia. And that's how he discovered the Viognier. And we went to France and saw the vineyards over there. And,
Yeah.
and he bought a lot of the French Viognier wines, different ones from different regions, so that we could, you know, taste it and
Mhm.
see and what the climates were like over there versus climates here.
Right.
And that's the reason, you know, that really got started.
Yeah. Yeah. So I know both of you are from Missouri,
Yes.
correct? Which is actually where the Norton has some roots too. We've got
Yes.
Dr. Horton, you know, in Norton, and there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. I'm going to be asking your daughter about that here shortly.
Okay.
we're gonna clarify everything about the Norton grape.
Okay.
Because there's so many stories out there.
Yes.
Right. Okay, but we'll do that when we come right back. Welcome back. We are sitting here with Sharon Horton in her beautiful vineyard, Horton Winery or Horton Vineyards. It's so funny. People need to understand that when it's grapes, it's a vineyard, and when you go and you taste it, it's a winery. Okay, so sometimes I say vinery. Sometimes I say vinery, right? Because I'm going to both places. We're so happy to be talking to you here today. And, you know, I was talking right before we went to the break is that you and your husband were both from Missouri. And what brought you here to Virginia? Why Virginia? Why didn't you grow grapes in California where everybody else does?
We came here after my husband's military stint in the Air Force, and he finished his education at Maryland.
Mhm.
And then we started looking for more property, and we came to Virginia and bought a house that had 31 acres, had, you know, just woods and grass at the time. And his business took off so much that he wanted to invest in something else. So he kind of, you know, went with a vineyard. I don't know. He kind of just
Were you
did.
one of the first vineyards in Virginia?
No.
Okay.
Not at all. I think
Okay.
our license number was 43.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay. And how many do we have in Virginia now?
Oh, well over 300, probably in the 400s.
Yeah. It's
I
crazy.
mean, everybody decided it was
20 years ago.
Oh,
Everybody
yes,
needed
the
to do that.
big thing to do. We
Yeah.
started in 1989, so we've been here 36 years.
Yeah.
We've seen a lot.
Oh,
I've
I'm
seen a lot
sure. I'm
come
sure.
and go.
Yeah.
You know, different things.
So he decided he was going to grow some grapes in your yard, and
Correct.
and said, I don't. So why didn't you go to California?
He took me out there on a trip once to
Uh-huh.
California to see the vineyards, and I said, "Well, you can move to California if you want to, but I'm not coming along."
Awesome.
So I think that ended that
That ended
story.
that whole
That
thing.
ended that whole
Yeah,
fiasco right
yeah.
there. Yes.
Was that a challenge, given that there was so much experience in the United States in a dry climate? Was that a challenge for you guys when you came back here and said, well, now how do we do this with all of this moisture that we have in Virginia, which creates beautiful wines?
But it
But
is a
but
challenge,
it
and it's
is.
always a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So I think winemakers from California that come to and try to make wine in Virginia, I'm saying try to make wine in
Right.
Virginia, they get a rude awakening
Oh yeah, yeah. They're
because
just not used
there's
to
a
it.
lot of moisture here, and you
Hmm.
really got to keep on top of it if you don't want the funguses out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think California can make a lot better wine, probably, but ours has a different taste. We're not trying to copy
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. No.
Why?
Well, and Virginia has also been by I don't remember which magazine it was, but like the International Wine Magazine, really like the fifth area in the world for wine now. We've just elevated
We
into
have.
this beautiful time. You talked about your granddaughter being the winemaker and the importance of communication. Tell us a little bit about how that happens in a vineyard because it's already challenging enough for a lot of business owners, right? Because this is
Yes.
called business on the vine. We want to hear it through the grapevine. How do you become a successful business while you're doing something you have a passion for? And how does that communication work for you?
The communication, you mean between me and the
You and
winemaker?
everybody.
Oh, me and everybody.
Everybody has to communicate in a way. When you're
That's
in a
true.
vineyard on 50 acres and then you've got the tasting room and
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, you have to keep on top of it, and you have to have good communication. You have to have somebody who understands. My granddaughter came out here when she was probably about 3 and
yeah.
worked in the vineyard and was side by side with me
Oh
all the
wow.
time
What a
until she
special
went
thing.
in at finished college. Then she went in the tasting room, and then we lost the winemaker downstairs, so we moved her downstairs, which she
Yeah.
had apprenticed for about 1 summer anyway down there, so she knew what the cellar was all about.
Yeah.
So once you get in the cellar, I don't think you ever want to come back out the vineyard
Really?
again.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
it's so
interesting.
hot. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
the
Oh,
cellar
just
is
for the
cool.
hot.
I mean,
I thought you were talking
yeah,
about something
that's an
else.
easy easy job according to this. We're out
Right.
here in the elements all the
Right.
time.
Right. That's true.
So
That's true. Yeah. So that communication is really important.
yes, it is.
How many employees do you have?
At the winery, I think we have about 7 full time,
Right. Okay.
which is not enough.
Right.
And the wine cellar needs more help.
Yeah.
We can't find, a lot of people that want to stay in
Yeah.
the
And
wine
along.
cellar, and work. It's
That's what I'm
hard
saying.
during harvest. It's
Yeah.
really hard,
Oh yeah, yeah.
you
Well,
know.
we've participated in that with a lot of vineyards around the area. Whenever they're doing harvest, we want to be part of it. We want to get ingrained in it, and see how everything gets done. It's just beautiful. So, as a business owner, looking back 36 years, and wonder, I'm just curious about this. What would your younger self tell you about starting a business? Not necessarily this business, but a business. And I'm going to get the answer to that question when we come back after this
Okay.
break. So stick with us. We'll be right back. Hey, well, welcome back to Business on the Vine. We're having a great chat here with Sharon. And I just asked her this question before we went to the break is what would your younger self tell you about business? What are some lessons that you've learned that you could share and provide some wisdom to others that are thinking about coming into business? Or maybe they're just in the early stages or novice in business and they're just struggling a little bit. Maybe are they holding on too tight? Are they not getting counsel? What kind of advice do you want to give them?
I don't know. Actually, I guess you wouldn't get into the vineyard winery business.
Okay, that's number one.
That's
Right,
number
right,
one.
right.
Get into a business I think that you would enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
I not that I don't enjoy this. I enjoy this very much, or I wouldn't still be out here in the
Right.
field. Um, get into something that you think you can probably make money at,
Mm-hmm.
and that the market needs.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
market is changing so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Well, and being aware of that, right, is sometimes, I mentioned white knuckling. I've seen a lot of business owners just hold on to a concept until they are bankrupt,
Mhm.
rather than making that shift and letting go, so that they can grow a little bit. What's your favorite thing about being out here daily? There's days I know you come out and you go, oh, it's gonna be a hot one today. But what's your favorite part?
Favorite part, being outdoors in the fresh air.
Yeah.
Yes, and not being, confined to something the same all the time. This
Mhm.
is it forever changing.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what the real challenge is.
Yeah.
And you can appreciate that too.
Mhm. I love hearing that because, as a business owner myself, I'm always looking for change within my business.
Hmm.
But I know that there's a lot of people that, let's just take an accountant, for example. They do the same thing every
That's
single
it.
day. And I couldn't do that. So for a business owner, you're saying keep it fresh, keep reinventing yourself, right? Keep growing
Yes.
something new,
Yes.
discovering new varietals, right? Of things to do. Yeah.
Actually, yes,
Yeah, in your
exactly.
business. So we have Sarah with us.
Oh, okay.
She's here, and maybe we'll zoom in on her, and
No, they,
maybe we won't zoom in on her.
she's
Uh,
too busy looking for something to
yeah,
chase
she's
right
looking for
now.
something to chase.
Yes,
But I love that you have her with you out in the vines every day, and it's a great companion for you.
yes.
Do you think being outside has kept you young at heart?
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
entirely.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's for living this beautiful long life that you've lived. And I love that you have your apron on. We want to show everybody your apron, right? Right, she has her apron on. She said, okay, I'm ready to do this interview, but then I'm going to get right back there, and I see your pruners with you, right?
exactly.
Your
Yes,
pruners to prune
you
away
never go to the field without your
because how are
shears.
you going to remember which aisle you were in, right? Which
That's
do you
right.
call it an aisle?
Uh,
Row?
row.
Row. Which row you're in? I love it. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much for having
Yes.
us here today. What is the best way for someone to learn more about Horton Vineyards? I know what it is. HortonWine.com.
.com.
Go to
Yes.
HortonWine.com.
Thank
That's
you.
it. And come out and explore this beautiful location and taste all the wines. Wait till you get yourself to the tasting room. I've never seen a tasting room that has so many options. Unbelievable. It's unbelievable. You will find something there that you love and then some. So thank you again for joining us today. Thank you for being my guest. Thank you for joining us, and we'll catch you on the next episode of Business on the Vine.